Where did Joan go? Because I heard her voice and I shouldn't be hearing her. All right, I think we're all muted now. Perfect. Okay, guys, lying down on your back. I'm going to go with you. And I just need a thumbs up that you can see me once I get there and that you can hear me. So thumbs up if you can see me and you can hear me. All right, wonderful. Lie down. What a wonderful way to start. We're going to begin with our rest assess. Palms to the ceiling, legs apart. Close your eyes and just begin with a focused breath in and exhale. Let's do 2 more like that. As you inhale, allow your belly to rise first and then your chest. And as you exhale, let your chest fall and your belly fall. Inhale, let your belly rise first, then your chest. And as you exhale, let your chest fall and then your belly fall. Good. Now, keeping your eyes closed, just giving yourself permission to drop in and get a sense of your body sense. So awareness is one of the most important things we can do to stay grounded, and that is staying in our body. And when we're feeling things, it's just a feeling. So when you can connect emotion of stress or anxiety to a feeling in your body, and you become aware of that feeling in your body, that is when you can let it go. So this is a really critical thing that we're going through a process. So the 3 places that stuck stress likes to live in your body. The first is your shoulder girdle. So notice where your shoulder blades on the mat are on the mat. Ideally, your shoulder blades are flat and wide on the mat. If there's stuck stress in the shoulder girdle, you might notice that you're resting on sort of the pointy parts of the shoulder blade, or maybe you're weighted back towards the tips of the shoulder blade. You might notice how the bottom of the shoulder blades are lifted, or if you're weighted differently from one side to the other. Nothing to fix or change. All we're doing is noticing. Turn your head to the right and left and notice if there's any restriction in your neck in the end range from one side to the other. If there's stuck stress in your shoulder girdle, you'll also notice that how your arms are resting on the mat. Ideally, the back of your arms, your elbows, your forearms, and your back of your hand are resting on the mat. If you have stuck stress in the shoulder girdle, that's going to start to roll your shoulders forward off the mat. And you'll also notice that your palms tend to be turned in towards your body. The second place stuck stress likes to live is in your diaphragm. That's going to affect your thoracic spine, your rib cage, and your curve of your back. So notice if ideally you have a low back curve, or if you have stuck stress in your diaphragm, you'll have a whole back curve where you'll notice that the weight of your body runs from your tailbone all the way back to your shoulder blade. The third is in your pelvis, so noticing if ideally you have equal weight on 2 fluffy butt cheeks, or if you're weighted more towards your tailbone, you'll get that sense that your pelvis is sort of tipped forward, or the front of your pelvis is up to the ceiling, but your pubic bone is tipped down towards the mat. And that'll give you a long curve through your whole spine. You'll also notice how your legs leave your body. Ideally, the back of your thighs are touching the mat. Those are masses. And the back of your knees would be lifted a little bit off the mat. Those are your spaces. And the calves are weighted to the mat with your toes pointed to where the wall and the ceiling meet. Taking your focus back to your torso, we'll look now at how efficiently your body's autopilot is functioning today, and divide your body into a left and right. Noticing if ideally you have equal weight on the right and left sides of your body, or if your autopilot isn't functioning efficiently, you'll notice that you're more weighted to one side or the other, or one arm or leg feels more weighted to the other. Have you bend your knees, take a focused breath in, and then exhale, roll onto your side and up to a seated position. So we are going to start off today with your rebalance sequence. And so if you only have a performance roller, which I think Kathleen Siva You only have a performance roller, and maybe Barb, I don't know, quite remember what you have now, but you want to lie lengthwise. So those of you with the performance roller, I lent you a big hard one. You're going to get your big hard one out. You're going to put it lengthwise on the mat. To get on, move your body towards the bottom of the roller so that you can just prop yourself up on the bottom. And that way, when you lie back, you can reach up and your whole head should be on the roller here. Elbows, forearms, and hands are down, and you're going to gently go into your gentle rocking. So whenever you lie on the roller this way, the very first thing you want to do is the gentle rocking. This helps your spine to adapt to lying on the roller. And this is also working with your body's autopilot to help you establish where your center of gravity is. You can do this for 30 seconds to a minute. What's important here is that your body is rocking with the roller, that your head, your ribs, and your pelvis are all moving in equal timing. Coming back to center. Place one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly. Take a slightly longer than normal inhale and breathe depth into your rib cage. So your ribs and chest and belly rise up to the ceiling and your back ribs down to the mat. Again, inhale, focus on your rib cage expanding to the sky and to the earth. And exhale, again, inhale. And exhale. Place your hands on the sides of your ribs. As you breathe in, focus on your rib cage moving east and west of your belly button. I encourage you to do this daily. Having your diaphragm strong and mobility in your rib cage is really important, especially if you do get a cold or you catch the virus. We want to keep your diaphragm strong and the rib cage moving so that we can keep the congestion out of your lungs. Place one hand on your collarbone and the other hand down to your pubic bone. And as you inhale, visualize your collarbone moving north of your belly button and your pubic bone moving south of your belly button. So we're visualizing bringing length. And if you're like me, you've been spending more time in front of the computer, and what's happening is everything is getting compressed. So this breathing that we're doing is helping to decompress and create space through your torso, for your breathing, for your heart, for your lungs, for your organs. Place both hands on your belly and let's bring that together into a 6-dimensional breath. As you inhale, breathe in depth and width and length, and exhale. And again, as you inhale, breathe in depth and width and length, and exhale. Janice, am I big on the screen right now? Is it me that's on the screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Good, and one more time, inhale, breathe in length and width and depth. Good. Now we focus on the exhale. We're gonna make our then our and this is to activate our deep-rooted core mechanism. Now, if you have people in the house, I want you to wake them up with your sound, okay? So let's take a breath in and exhale. Inhale. Inhale. Beautiful. Now you're going to do one more exhale, and all you're going to do is allow the hands to follow the movement of the belly, but without the sound. Inhale and exhale. Now we'll go into your tuck and your tilt. So your hands stay where they are. Inhale. As you exhale, moving only your pelvis from your pelvis, go into your tuck where you're drawing your pubic bone towards your belly button. Pause here and check that your glutes are relaxed and you're light on your feet. And then on your next exhale, you tilt, which is simply an untuck where the weight of your pelvis lands on top of the roller. And again, check, are you light on your feet? Exhale into your tuck, moving only your pelvis from your pelvis. And then through your next exhale, you tilt. You can place your hands on your rib cage as in your own timing with your breath, you tuck and you tilt. And the focus here is moving your pelvis discreetly, such as that your rib cage stays still, your glutes stay relaxed, and you stay light on your feet. Again, a really important movement for back, pelvis, and rib cage health, such that you can move your pelvis while maintaining stillness in your ribs. Finding neutral, which is somewhere in between your tuck and your tilt. Place your hands on your ribs, reach your arms up to the ceiling and tilt your arms slightly towards your thighs. So your arms truly are above your rib cage versus up here by your chest. Shoulder blade reach. Inhale, let your shoulder blades draw apart. Exhale, let your shoulder blades relax around the roller. Again, we want to move just your shoulder blades here. So as you're reaching and letting your shoulder blades wrap around the roller, keep your collarbone wide, keep your neck soft, and your eyes and nose to the ceiling. Notice here if your shoulder blades are moving with ease and if they're moving in equal timing. Let your shoulder blades relax around the roller, keep your elbows straight and go into your scissors. As you inhale and exhale, you're scissoring your arms, keeping your arms above the height of your body. So the arm that's going towards your head, stop when the arm is still in your sight, and the bottom arm stops when it's still above the height of your pelvis. Here we're moving our shoulder joint while maintaining stillness in your shoulder blade. Elbows are staying straight. Arms stay above the height of your body. Bring your arms back to center. Bend your elbows and place your fingers on your shoulders. Circling now as you inhale and exhale. If you notice any snapping, cracking, crunching, popping, or grinding in your shoulders, make the movement smaller and slow it down. We want the movement to be smooth and easy as you breathe. One more time, inhale and exhale. Place your hands on the mat, a little wider than your pelvis. Reach your arms long so your elbows are straight and off the mat. Bring your feet together in line with your sits bones, so not all the way together, just close. And here we're doing our single leg lift. Now I want you to think about just de-weighting the foot and it only just hovers off the floor. Take a breath in. As you exhale, you can make your shh, and as you feel that activation through your abdominals, slightly de-weight one foot off the floor. Place it back down, and then we alternate. Inhale and exhale. Notice as you alternate, we'll do each side one more time, how much you're using your arms to support you as you de-weight a leg. Also notice I'm barely lifting my foot up off the floor, just to de-weight. It's as if that connection through your deep-rooted core is de-weighting your foot. Next, bend your elbows, place your hands on your ribs. Breathe in. As you exhale, activate your abdominals, drawing up and in, and de-weight one foot. Don't worry if this feels messy. If you're moving around, all we're doing is we're upping the game for our nervous system, such as that it has to find stability on its own by activating the core and knowing where your center of gravity is. Each side one more time. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now place your hands back down on the mat. Reach your arms long. Do it again as you inhale. And exhale, feeling that activation of the deep core mechanism before you de-weight your foot. So we call it stabilize before you mobilize. And as you alternate, what there is to notice is if you're using your arms less than you were before. One more time, inhale and exhale. Place your foot down. Straighten out one leg. Roll off to that side of the roller. Move the roller out of the way. Lie down on your back. Turn your palms to the ceiling. And let's drop in, closing your eyes. And all there is to notice is there more of you on the mat? This is one of your most powerful grounding sequences that you can do, this and your foot treatment, to get your body centered and grounded. Turn your head to the right and left. And even though we didn't do anything through the neck, simply by getting our shoulder girdle onto the mat and our ribs and our pelvis more aligned, that can often release tension in the neck. Notice if there's more contact of your shoulder blades. If instead of a whole back curve, you're noticing your ribs are down and it's more in the low back. And also if you have more equal weight on your glutes. Bend your knees, roll onto your side, and bring yourself up to a seated position. So today I would like to spend a little more time on our upper back compression, such that we have time to get over and do our rib cage movement. So if you do have osteoporosis, I'm going to encourage you to get a towel and just have a towel that you can roll up nearby. So when we do our rib length move, that you're not brought into as much load on your rib cage, and that you don't also have the deep side bending. So you can modify when we get into the rib length move in a little bit by just using a towel. So go and just run and grab that real quick. All right, so we're going to go into our rib length assess. You're going to take the roller behind you, and you want to settle it in just at the bottom of your rib cage. You can reach up and punch your arms and feel that you're hitting the lower of your shoulder blades onto the roller. And then bring your feet in, plant your feet. You're going to lift your pelvis, come into a tuck, so you're activating your center, and then you're bringing your pelvis down, and that'll help to keep your low back stable. Then take your hands behind your head, interlock your fingers, open your elbows, keeping your core engaged, lengthen your ribs. So notice here, I'm not like dropping back over the roller, I'm just lengthening my ribs. And all there is to notice is what movement do you have available in your rib cage? As you exhale, contract your abdominals to bring yourself up again. Taking it back as you inhale. As you exhale, side bend to your right and just breathe into your left rib cage and notice if there's any restriction in your rib. Exhale, bring it back to center. Inhale, side bend the other way. Notice as you breathe into your right rib, how that's feeling, if there's any restriction, and then bring it back to center. Moving yourself down now so that your upper shoulder blades is on the roller, and you're going to point your elbows to where the wall and the ceiling meet. Make sure you're not tugging on your head, but you're supporting your head. Feet are close in so you can use your whole footprint. Hover your pelvis just off the mat and start your glide, gliding up and down on the upper 2 inches of your shoulder blades. Notice if there's any parts of tenderness there. If you are, you want to shorten your glide and just bump up against that barrier. Bring your pelvis down, stay in your tuck, and go into your shear where you're twisting side to side. Pause, take a focused breath in, and exhale. Then we're going to move to the middle part of your shoulder blades. Walk your feet in, hover your pelvis, and glide up and down in the middle part of your shoulder blade. As you're gliding, you want to press into the front of the roller versus the top of your roller. So you're pressing against it. Bring your pelvis down and go into your shear. Visualize one vertebra being pinned onto the roller, and you're just doing this small twisting action to mobilize the vertebra just above. Pause, take a breath in, and exhale. Good. I'm just going to move down the mat because on this one you slowly disappear. And so now we are going to go to the bottom part of your shoulder blade. Check that you're nice and relaxed through your head. Lift your pelvis, and now you're rolling up and down or gliding up and down the lower part of your shoulder blade. Good. So with mount, remember, we want to get in and get out. We never stay here for too long. Bring your pelvis down and go into your shear. Beautiful. So next we're going to work on, for me, I'm going to work on my left shoulder blade because that's going to have me face you. We're going to tip the right elbow towards the ceiling. You're going to hover your pelvis. And now I want you to glide up and down the whole inside edge of your shoulder blade. So you're working through the inner edge of the scapula from the very top of the shoulder blade to the bottom. Remember, your glide is exploratory and preparatory. So as you're gliding up and down, is there any area that feels a little tender? Now you can tighten up your glide, make it a little bit smaller. And then we bring your pelvis down, and you can shear either by fanning your bottom elbow, or you can move your arm in any direction in front of your body. Good. And then we wait. We take a focused breath in, and then exhale. So now we want to do the outer shoulder blade glide and shear. So now you're going to roll onto your side. Your shoulder is on the head side of your roller. You're going to let your head fall into your hands. So now your head is supported. And we're just going to do our outer shoulder and forearm glide and shear to start. So you're resting basically on your upper arm and your forearm, and you can place your hand on top of your forearm here. And as you glide, remember the roller moves under you when you're gliding. Think of doing an abdominal curl. So you're curling forward and up. You can either do it from your upper body or pump from your legs. And you're just gliding on your outer forearm. And you're just coming up to the top of the delta or the bottom of the deltoid. Good. And then when you are on the up, so your head is on and your shoulders are on the other side of the roller, you're going to pause there. And then you're just going to tip back. So now you're on the outer edge of your shoulder blade. You're still supporting your head with your hand. And you're going to take your top arm and place it under your rib cage. Make sure that your shoulder is on the head side of your roller. And now it's a side bending action. So you're going to side bend. So with this top hand under your rib cage, it allows you to feel your ribs and direct them to lifting and lowering as you glide on the outer edge of your shoulder blade. We are also a little bit on the rib cage. So again, all of this whole sequence is going to be really brilliant. If you do get some congestion and you've got a cough, you really want to keep the mucus moving through your body. You don't want it to get stuck. And then you're going to pause, and your shear with the bottom elbow is you open and close your elbow. And then you wait. Take a focused breath in and exhale. Good. All right. So now we come onto our backs again. So we sit up, find the position. If you feel like you've rolled to the other room now, because you do move around a little bit, come on back into this room so you can see me. And then we're going to go onto the other side. I will actually turn around because I like to be able to make sure you guys are following my cues here. And so I'll turn around. And now we want to find the inner shoulder blade glide of the other side. So now you're going to tip your left elbow up to the ceiling. Your feet are in close so you can feel the footprint, hover your pelvis, and you're going to glide up and down the whole inner shoulder blade. So go from the top to the bottom. And if there's a little spot that you want to work on, remember, melt shouldn't hurt. It needs to be tolerable. So if you get to a spot and it's feeling really tender, just bump up against it. Just work close to it, indirect to direct approach. And then we pause, bring your pelvis down, and you can shear either by fanning the bottom elbow, or you can move your arm anywhere around in front of your body. Good, that looks great, guys. And then you wait, take a focused breath in, give the tissue time to adapt, and exhale. Good. Then we're going to roll onto your side. So we'll start with the shoulder and forearm glide and shear. So you're going to rest your forehead on your hand. You'll take your hand and place it onto your forearm. And you want to make sure again that your shoulder and your head is on, or your shoulder is on the head side of your roller. And then it's a curling action, like you're doing a little abdominal curl. Again, you can curl with your upper body or you can pump your legs. And the weight of this hand on your forearm just provides a little more compression. So again, if you're like me and you have been doing more cooking than normal, or you've been on the computer, there could be a lot of stuck stress in your forearm, causing elbow and shoulder discomfort. So this is wonderful for that. And then finish when your shoulder again is up. So you're more on your rib cage and your outer edge of your scapula. And then we're going to tip back. So that's how you get onto the shoulder blade, is just by tipping your body back. Then with your top hand, you're going to place it under your rib cage and you're going to go into your side bending action. So as the roller is moving underneath you, you're moving it up and down on the outer edge of your shoulder blade. It's also getting your rib cage, which is great. Good. And then we wait, and our shear is fanning the bottom elbow. How's that feeling, guys? Is that pretty nasty in there? Good. Your breath is going to be so open after this class. I promise you, it'll feel very good. All right, and then you wait. You take a focused breath in, and then exhale. Good. So we're going to stay on this side and go into our rib length, which is actually a lengthening move for the top. So just place your forearm down. You're going to lift the roller and move it more under your bra line. So you want it a little bit lower down. Now, if you have osteoporosis, lying and doing this big move on your rib cage, not recommended. This is where you would replace the roller with the towel rolled up. So roll that towel up and place the towel there instead. It just won't be as deep a bend or as much compression on your ribs, okay? So bring the roller under the bra line and then take this arm long. If you need a pillow under your head, Sharon, sometimes that has been helpful for you. You let your head come down. So if you need a pillow in between your head and your arm, so your neck feels good, grab that. And then you want to come into a tuck. So what's key here is that you tuck your pubic bone to your belly button. Then we're going to take this top arm. You're going to reach it overhead. With your bottom arm, you're going to grab above your elbow and you're going to lengthen that arm as you tuck your pelvis. So pubic bone to belly button and focusing on the lengthening of your rib cage on the top side. If that feels okay, take your top leg and reach it long and deepen your tuck as you draw in your arm. Take a breath into your top ribs and exhale. Good. Now we want to come out of this slowly. So bring your leg in, slowly release your arm and just turn your upper body forward and rest your head down on your forearms. And just wait. Take a breath in and exhale. And then come up. Nice. That's a big move. And if you do that on your own, it's really important that you do this massive warm up that we did. You do the whole upper back compression, inner shoulder blade glide and shear, outer shoulder blade glide and shear. You need to prepare for this. So let's change sides. So again, if you have your hand just on the head side of your roller so you can ease yourself into it, place the roller or your towel at about your bra line, so it's on your rib cage, and then slide this arm out and let your head rest. If you need a pillow between your arm and your head, go ahead and do that. A towel will be fine. Then you tuck your pelvis, pubic bone to belly button. Take this arm overhead. With your bottom arm, grab your elbow and lengthen your arm. Keeping your tuck, reaching the hip down. If that feels okay, you're going to extend this leg. The toe is slightly forward and tuck your pelvis a little more as you lengthen your top rib cage. Take a breath in and exhale. Good. And then bring your knee in. We unwind it slowly, slowly release your arm, and then turn your body and rest your head on your hand. Pause, take a focused breath in, and exhale. And bring yourself up. Good. All right, how we doing? Thumbs up? Thumbs up if we're okay, thumbs down if you're bad and you need my help. I'll be there in a jiffy. All right, the way this virtual stuff goes, we just, fly at the speed of light. All right, so now we're gonna rinse. So we bring the roller back behind us and we're going to rinse our back. So how that looks is you're gonna move the roller to the top of your shoulder blades. Your hands are behind your head, your feet, knees are bent, your feet are close to your seat. You lift your pelvis. Now you want to press your back into the front of the roller, and it's like you're steamrolling your back until your bum lands and your legs straighten. Bend your knees to reset your feet, slide down fast. So we go up slow, you're curling, pressing into the front of the roller, reset the legs, and you come down fast. Again, pelvis lifts, press into the roller. Remember, we're rinsing, we're moving the fluid through our body now. Bend your knees and come back. One more time. Reset the feet, lift your pelvis. Notice I'm curling forward as I go. I'm looking straight ahead. And reset the feet and come back. Good. All right, so let's just check our ribs. We'll do our rib length reassess. So we bring the roller to bottom of the shoulder blades, just like when we started. We want to secure our low back. So you lift your hips, tuck, and place your pelvis down. Hands come behind your head, elbows wide. Keep your core engaged. As you inhale, just lengthen through your ribs. And notice, do you have more movement? Do you have more availability of length? Side bend to your right, breathe into your left rib cage, and notice if that's freed up any space in your ribs. Come back to center and side bend the other way. Breathe into your side ribs. Inhale and exhale. Good. And bring it all the way up. That's pretty powerful, isn't it? I know, Anne, you've had a cold, so hopefully that feels really good. But that whole glide and shear down the back and the side bending, guys, make that your go-to to really keep your diaphragm working, your ribs moving, and your lungs really free. The other option, if you do get a cold or get the virus, is the patting on the back where you pat, pat, pat. You have to get someone to do it for you to keep that mucus moving, but you've got your roller. All right, guys, good job. So let's bring, actually, let's keep the roller behind, and then we're just gonna sit up on the roller, and we're gonna go into a little lower body compression. Keep my eye on the time. I drive nowhere else to be. You guys, we could just keep going. It's our last class today. You're gonna place your fingertips in front, your feet are planted, spine is straight, and you're just gonna rock forward and back on your sits bones. Good. I'm noticing, again, I'm in front of a computer a lot more than normal, and I'm just sitting, and my glutes are feeling compressed, and the low back gets tight, and so I just think this is a really good one to do. And then we're going to finish with your sits bones on the feet side of your roller. You're going to bring your hands back, fingertips pointing to the side. You want to tuck your pelvis. And the weight of your body, the weight of your pelvis is on the roller. You shouldn't feel like there's a lot of work in the shoulders. And then we go into your tail triangle glide, where you're gliding up and down on your sacrum. Good. We're going to just tip the knees over to one side and just swirl around there. So this is bringing hydration into your SI joint, into your low back. Good. And then tip your knees the other way and just swirl around there. Again, the weight of your body is on your pelvis, on the roller, nice and light in your arms and your shoulders. So I'm going to tip my knees back to facing you, just so you guys can see me. And then you're going to take the opposite arm. So I'm on my left hip now, so I'll cue left and right, but that tells you what's going on. So I'm working my left hip and my right hand is on my right knee. Good. And we're going to go into our deep hips. You're going to let your left thigh fall out and you're just going to swirl around. You're swirling around the whole hip and gluteal area. And if you find a spot that feels a little tender, you can just tighten up your glide right there. And then we shear. So you pause and you fan this hip up and down. Beautiful. We get in and get out. Think about 3 breaths for each as your rule of thumb. And then we wait. Give the tissue time to adapt. Take a breath in and exhale. Extend this leg. We're going to go into our side hip. So you roll onto your forearm and we start to glide up and down. We're still on the pelvis. We're not on the thigh at this point. On Monday, we'll do more on the other thigh glide and shear. Up and down, up and down. Uh-oh. Good. Did I cut out there? Y'all disappeared for a second. There we go. All right, so everyone's still gliding. Perfect. And now we're going to shear. So you keep this leg straight, and there are 2 versions of shearing. One, you can roll your hip forward and back. The other is you could do what we call cross friction, where you're rubbing. It's like you're pinning the tissue and you're really rubbing. So pick the one again that feels best for you. And then you wait. Take a focused breath in and exhale. Good. And then we'll head over to the other side. And I'll turn around again so I can see you, but you don't have to do that. So we start in our deep hip. So you're going to be tipped now to your right. Your left hand is on your left knee. And you let this right hip leg fall down towards the floor. So it just fans open and you just swirl around, swirl all around your glute and into your deep hip. Pick a spot, tighten up the glide. Good. And then we shear. We open and close this leg. So in our compression sequences, we glide, we shear, we rinse. That's the order. And then we take a breath in and exhale. The rinse comes at the very, very end. You're going to extend this leg. We're going to come down onto your form and roll right onto your side. And then same thing. You're just going to glide up and down. So whenever you're gliding, the roller is moving. So we don't get confused. We're preparing the tissue for the shear. We're looking, how do I feel? Is there any stuck stress? I tighten up the glide. And then we go into the shear. So we can rock the hip forward and back, or we can cross friction. And then you wait. Take a focused breath in and exhale. And then we slide off. So we're going to do our hamstrings today. We didn't do our hamstrings or our calves last day. With this one, if you recall, it's good to be have your heels off the mat. So if you move down the mat such that your feet are on the floor, otherwise sometimes when you do this, your feet get caught up on the roller. You're going to lie on your back and you'll place the roller under your thigh, close to your buttocks, upper hamstring. When we do our shear, we do what's called a passive shear here. We don't need to do our glide because of how the weight is on the roller. You're basically turning your hip out and in. Now, because we're not going to do our outer thigh and inner thigh glide and shear today, if you do one leg at a time, you can kind of get in there, right? So you can see here that I'm really turning, I'm letting my pelvis move with me. So I'm getting a little bit in my inner thigh and in my outer thigh. And then you do the other side. So you can play with this, right? You can do both legs at the same time, one at a time, like this. You can really, really get some nice surface area covered. And then you wait, take a focused breath in and exhale. Move the roller to mid hamstring and then you do the same thing. This is another wonderful one. You know, you could spend 10 minutes on your hamstrings. If you're walking a lot, you might be noticing that your legs are feeling a little bit tight, or if you're sitting a lot, the hamstrings are going to be compressed. And then do both sides again. Really work that leg so you can get to the inner and the outer. And then you wait. So we're just going to do 3 points on the hamstrings today. Here you can move to the lower part of the hamstring. So make sure that you're on the hamstring tissue, that you're not on the joint. You never want to shear on the joint. The nerves run too close to the surface there. We don't want to compress the nerves. And the more relaxed your leg is, the more you can work deeper in the tissue. So you want to make sure your heel is down and your leg is heavy and relaxed. Do both sides. Doesn't that feel wonderful? And also really moving in your hip joint, right? Just moving those hips. And then you wait. Take a focused breath in. And exhale. Good. Let's move down to our calf. So we're going to get onto the thickest part of your calf. And then you're going to cross your left leg over the right. Keep your feet relaxed. You have to really cue that relaxation of your feet. And you just want to glide up and down. As the roller is coming towards you, you want to press into the front of the roller. And as it goes away, you press into the top of the roller. Small little movement. Explore. You can just go a little bit to the outside of the calf. And you can go a little bit to the inside of the calf, keeping your feet relaxed. And then pick a spot and tighten up the glide. And then pause and circle your right foot. So you want to circle the leg that's on the roller. Circle the foot of the leg on the roller. And then you wait. Take a focused breath in. And exhale. Move the roller down just a little bit. Still on the thick part of the calf, just towards the bottom of it. Keep your feet relaxed. And again, go into your glide. Go exploring, find the inside of the calf, the outside, pick a spot, tighten up the glide. Good, and then circle. Take a focused breath in and exhale. Good, let's change sides. So we'll go to the thickest part of the calf, feet relaxed, and go ahead and glide. Again, you want to press into the front of the roller as it comes towards you. Top of the roller as it goes away. Keep checking on your feet. Explore outer calf, inner calf. Pick a spot, tighten up the glide. And then circle your ankle. And then you wait. Take a focused breath in. And exhale. Move the roller down a little bit. And again, go into your glide up and down. Feet stay relaxed. Go exploring. Pick a spot, tighten up the glide. And then circle. Take a focused breath in. And exhale. Good. All right, so bend your knees, roll onto your side, and push yourself up to a seated position. So we're going to do a manual rinse here. There's a way to do the rinse on the roller, but I want to show you the manual rinse, partly because we're at the end of the session and I don't want to create tension in the upper body. So we always rinse up the front of the body and down the back. So you can take your hands and you start with your calf and you simply go up your calf and then down the back, up the front, down the back, up the front, down the back. And then you go to your hamstring, same thing, up the front of your thigh, down the back of your thigh, up the front, down the back. You don't have to push hard. You're just moving this fluid through your body. So it's really just an energetic, nice rub. Good, and then do the other side. Up the front, down the back, and down the back, good. And then we'll do the thigh, up the front, down the back. So next week, our melt classes are Monday at 11:30 and then Friday at 11:30. So we've changed the Thursday to a Friday. Good. And release. All right. So let's do our rest reassess. So you're going to lie down on your back. Legs are out, straight out. Palms are to the ceiling. And then just close your eyes and drop in. And we want to notice if there's been any change in our tissue. Is there more of you on the mat? Notice your shoulder blades. If before you felt like you're tipped back towards the top of the shoulder blade, do you feel like your shoulder blades have more grounding, surface area contact to the floor? If before you felt like your ribs were all the way up off the mat, do you feel like your ribs have come down? And instead of a whole back curve, there's a low back curve. You'll notice the low back curve will be more distinct. It'll be steeper, but shorter. And then also notice where you're weighted on your pelvis. If before you felt like your pelvis was tipped forward, do you feel like you're more centered and weighted on your buttocks? And then divide your body into a left and right. And if before you felt like you were a little more weighted to one side than the other, do you feel more equally balanced? Turn your head to the right and left. Notice if there's any more ease of movement. Take a focused breath in. And exhale. Bend your knees. Roll onto your side and up to a seated position.